Hi, this is Yvonne Wade Sanchez with the League of Women Voters Fort Bend. This will be episode 3, voter registration card. Our league is doing a series of videos that we hope will help you understand some of the valuable information that you can obtain from the Fort Bend County Voter Administration Office website. Okay, and so again, this episode is about the voter registration card. So I'm sure you're thinking, the voter registration card, that's a card sent to me. How does that relate to the website? And that'll become apparent soon. But let's talk about the card a little bit. So this is your voter registration card. When you register to vote in Fort Bend, and by the way, every time you move to a new county, you have to register as a new voter. So county voting is specific to a county. So for example, if you lived in Harris and you moved to Fort Bend, once you've made that move, you'd have to register as a new voter in Fort Bend. Now, if you move within Fort Bend, not a problem, then you just change your address. So you're not re-registering, you're just changing your address, okay? So let's go back to the card. So again, you'll receive this card about 2 weeks, maybe-ish, after you register. If you're already a registered voter, you get a new card, I think, every 2 years, and they change colors. I think I have a blue card and an orange card. This year they were yellow. So the information on the left of the card, right? So it's going to be every county in the state of Texas is going to have the same information, right? So this is going to look identical. So you have a voter ID, your gender, your birthday, whatever. The most important piece of information on the left side is what is called the precinct number, right? So your precinct number is very important. If you'll remember or go back and watch episode 1, we talked about how to use your precinct number to find your sample ballot. But your precinct number determines all the information that appears here on the right. Okay, and guess what? Your precinct number is dependent or determined by your address. And so one of the questions that we heard a lot when the new voter registration cards were sent out. I'm a VDR, so people who knew I was a VDR was like, hey, I got this card. Do I sign it and send it back? What do I do with this card? And so we had to explain to them that you sign it and you keep it. It's for you, right? It's for your records. It's showing that you are a registered voter. Unless your address is incorrect, or maybe there was a misspelling on your name or with your name. In that case, you would flip the card over, and there's an area over here on the left, bottom left, where you can make corrections, like correct spelling of your name and your correct address. Then you sign it, and then you send it back. So the only time you would send this card back is if your address is incorrect, or maybe your name is spelled wrong. And remember, your address determines what your precinct is. So that address is very important. It has to be correct, or you're not going to have the correct precinct. Remember that the precinct determines all the information that's going to appear on the right side of the card, which is important for you to know. So let's talk about the top of the card over here on the right side. This information, again, is going to be consistent. All counties in Texas are going to have these fields on the top. And by the way, these fields are blank because this is a sample, but normally a number would appear. So it's giving you information. Your card's going to tell you who your congressional rep is, who your state rep is, who your state senator is. COM is your commissioner. So each county has 4 precincts. It's divided into 4 precincts. And so each precinct is run, in a sense, I guess, the boss of the precinct would be the commissioner. So we have to vote for a commissioner. So you'll see number 1, 2, 3, or 4. The JP would be a justice of the peace, who's in charge of your precinct. The next part down here, below that, this is going to be a little more specific to your county. Everyone, I think all counties are going to have a school district and a city unless you live in a rural area or an ETJ, an extraterritorial jurisdiction or something, or unincorporated area. These are, in Fort Bend, you're going to see these. So you're going to see MUD, LID, and ESD. So MUD is a municipal utility district. They handle our mud, unless you live in a city. Maybe you'll have city water or whatever. And then we have LIDs, which are levee improvement districts. So if your neighborhood, not all neighborhoods in Fort Bend, but some neighborhoods have levees around them, and so you'll have that's an entity that you're going to elect representatives for. And then an ESD is an emergency service district. So depending again if you live in a city or a rural area, you might have an ESD. So again, all that information is dependent on your precinct. Your precinct is dependent on your address. Okay, so this is where we're going to tie in the website. So now if we go to the website, and remember we can do, they have a short code, Fort Bend Votes, openvotes.org. Okay, and so when you type fortbendvotes.org, it'll take you to the website. That's a short code. Here, under Maps on the website, you will see, I mean, there's a number of maps. Go ahead and explore at your leisure. There are two that I want to bring to your attention, though. So down here, there will be a voter precinct map, which is a PDF. It's pretty teeny tiny, but see the colors. So there are four, remember, four precincts. So blue, I think, is 3, green is 1. Doesn't matter. So I think 4 is this orange, and 2 is this pink. I'm going to make this bigger. So you can see each precinct has these like sub precincts or smaller divisions, and that's that 4-digit precinct number that we were talking about. So that's dependent on where you live. So I'm just going to show you this little legend over here. So for example, if you lived in precinct 1001, which is in precinct 1, by the way. So you'll notice that all of the precincts, sub-precincts that are in precinct 1 start with a 1. All the sub-precincts that are in precinct 3 start with the 3s, so forth and so on. But anyways, if you lived in precinct 1001, this would tell you who your federal, it's also called like a congressional district, you'll see CD, who your, the number that's associated with your representative, the state, House, the state Senate, so it's going to be your state Senate district is 18, and also your school board district. Okay, so I'm going to make this smaller again. So again, those relate to the different precincts. And you can get this map on the website. So let's go back here. There's another map that I wanted to bring to your attention. This is I think the current ledge and congressional maps. So if you were curious, like these districts obviously don't correspond just to our county. They spread out further. This is just limited to the areas where they overlap with our county. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 state districts. So 28, 26, 85, and 27, depending on when you live. Same thing with the state Senate districts. So we have 3. So depending on where you live, your state rep is either 18, 17, or 13. And those are the numbers, again, that are appearing on your voter registration card. Same thing with the U.S. representative. So we have 2 congressional representatives. The majority of us in Fort Bend are represented by Pete Olson, I think, in Congressional District 22. And then there's a little bit here that, that touches Houston. This is Al Green. So this is Congressional District 9. Same thing with the school or the state education districts. It'll kind of give you an idea. Again, these stretch out beyond our county, but it'll give you a good idea. So that was my tie-in back to the website. So again, all this great information is available on the fortbendvotes.org website. So that was under maps again. So again, this was episode 3. We talked about the voter registration card. And hopefully now you have a better understanding of all these little boxes and all the numbers and how they are determined. And if you have any additional questions, please let us know. We can be reached from a number of social media avenues. We have a Facebook page. You can follow us on Twitter. You obviously found our YouTube page. We also have a website. So we'd love to hear what other questions you have and what other episode ideas that we can produce for you in the future. Thank you so much. Again, this is Yvonne Wade Sanchez with the League of Women Voters Fort Bend.